Hey guys, this is the Cloverleaf Speed Trap. This is the only PR stunt this week, by the way. But the weekly challenge is 175 miles per hour with a car restriction of a B700 vintage racer. Now when I saw a vintage racer, I was like, oh great. For one thing, they're pretty pricey. They're all over a million credits. They're also not the easiest thing to drive in the world. To really get them up to speed, you kind of need to keep them in, or it's easier I should say, to keep them in rear-wheel drive. But last time I did a tune for one of these PR stunts as a rear-wheel drive, I got a whole bunch of comments that it's really hard to drive. And well, rear-wheel drive cars are harder to drive, but they are faster. But I won't do that again. I will be in an all-wheel drive vintage racer here to make it a little bit easier to handle. And it'll just take a minute to get up to our speed. And that is why we're starting way back here. Slowly gain your speed. This curve right here is the only one of challenge. Just cut it to stay on the road. And then it's just a straight shot. Right here, so, is a downhill, which should get you up to your final speed of that 175. So let's go ahead and do this. And I'm in this Napier. It's 1.5 million credits. It's on the, well, I guess it's on the cheaper side of these vintage racers. Car and tune in description below. Basically, I put on all-wheel drive, went straight to power, and shoved on all the power I could. Here's that curve. Just cut it. You're still going to go sliding. Should stay enough on the road to be okay. Just straight the rest of the way. Slowly crawl to that 175. And here's the downhill part, which should get us there. Just barely, 175.39. There you have it, guys. Thanks, and I'll see you all later. Actually, I want to show you one other way of doing this. This Maserati is just stupidly powerful. It's also extremely hard to drive. I do have it in rear-wheel drive, and I did switch my settings to manual. Just a little trick here. Let me show you where I'm starting to. Only starting I'm at the top of the straightaway, so you're only going straight, okay? But it's still really hard to drive this thing. But if you swap it to, or shift it, I should say, to 4th gear, just start there. You'll never have to shift again. And just start going. This will be easy to drive until you get going about 150, 160. And it starts to get a little wonky, because it is just so darn powerful, this car. But it's a straight shot. Don't have to worry about turning anything. And here it gets a little bit harder to drive, but as long as we don't need to move, we'll be okay. Should very easily hit the 175. Yep, 191.92. So that's just another way of doing this one. All right, thanks guys. See you later for sure.
Feel a lot better.